In the shadows where truth and tales intertwine, we find the thrilling, the chilling, the downright spine-tingling. From the paranormal to the peculiar, every echo has a story. Dare to delve into the unexpected, the unexplained? Brace yourself, for you're about to embark on a journey where fear meets fascination. Stay tuned if you dare, for stories that will make your heart race and your mind ponder. Welcome to the realm of the eerie, the realm of the unknown. And remember, like and subscribe, if you dare. The city's hustle and bustle were far behind them as the family embraced the tranquility of the woods. The family, Carol, Robert, and their darling little Lily, had traded the concrete jungle for the verdant retreat of nature. The towering buildings were replaced by ancient trees. The honking of cars was replaced by the chirping of birds, and the polluted air was replaced by the crisp, clean breath of the woods. Carol, always the caretaker, was busy preparing a delightful picnic lunch. The aroma of freshly made sandwiches wafted through the air, competing with the scent of pine and damp earth. Nearby, Robert, the loving father, was engaged in a battle of wits with the fish in the lake, hoping to reel in a monstrous carp or a catfish. In the midst of this familial harmony, their little angel Lily was frolicking in the woods. She was a speck of vibrant energy against the serene backdrop, her laughter echoing through the trees. Carol kept a watchful eye on her, comforted by the presence of another family camping nearby. There was a sense of community, the collective pursuit of peace and tranquility binding them together. As time ebbed away, Lily, with a twinkle in her eye, approached Carol. "Mom, can I go play with Susie by the lake?" she asked. Carol, with a pang of maternal concern, agreed, reminding Lily to stay within sight. Lily's joyful laughter filled the air as she scampered off towards the lake, her tiny form soon swallowed by the grandeur of the woods. Robert, drawn in by the tantalizing aroma of lunch, joined Carol at the picnic table. The air was filled with anticipation of a hearty meal, the woods providing the perfect backdrop for their shared moment. But as the minutes ticked away, there was one laughter that was absent, one presence that was missing. Suddenly, a question echoed through the woods. "Mom, can I go play with Susie by the lake?" The words hung heavy in the air, a chilling prelude to the horror that was about to unfold. A sense of unease settled on the campsite as Carol realized Lily was nowhere to be found. The once serene and idyllic setting had transformed into a theater of dread and anxiety. Carol, her heart pounding in her chest, scanned the area for her daughter, but the woods remained silent, save for the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind. Robert, having been summoned by Carol's frantic calls, wore an expression of confusion, then concern. "She was supposed to be by the lake, within your sight," Carol said, her voice trembling. Robert's face paled. "I haven't seen her." "She was up here with you," he replied, his voice barely a whisper. Their world seemed to spin as they called out for Lily, their voices echoing through the woods. Each moment that passed without a reply was a dagger to their hearts. After what seemed like an eternity, Carol approached the other family, her voice shaky. "Have you seen Lily and Susie?" she asked, her eyes pleading for a positive response. The words that followed hit Carol like a freight train. "We don't have a daughter called Susie." The world around her seemed to crumble. Her knees buckled and she fell to the ground. Tears streamed down her face as she cried out in despair. "My baby is missing. Where is she? Help me find my baby girl." Robert and Fred, the other father, agreed to search the woods, packing bags with food and water, ready for anything. Meanwhile, Carol, left with the other children, tried to call for help, but her phone showed no signal. Desperation took over. She turned to the other mother. "Can you look after the children while I go to the ranger station?" The woman nodded, her own face pale with worry. As fear overcame her, Carol sprinted up the trail to the ranger station, her heart pounding in her chest. Her only thought was of Lily, lost and alone in the woods. She had to find her daughter, she had to. Meanwhile, footprints, tiny and delicate, led the two fathers deeper into the woods. Robert and Fred, equipped with a sense of urgency and a bag of provisions, were on mission. They had one goal in their minds: to find Lily. As they waded through the dense undergrowth, the footprints were a beacon of hope, a trail that could lead them to the missing child. Each step they took was heavy, not with exhaustion, but with the weight of the situation. The footprints were too small, too intricate for a child to have ventured this far into the forest on her own. The fathers couldn't help but wonder, how on earth could a child make this journey on their own? Meanwhile, Carol found herself at the ranger station, her heart pounding in her chest, her breath ragged from the frantic run. The ranger, a seasoned man with a calm demeanor, listened attentively as Carol narrated the day's horrifying events. His decision was swift. He would join the search. The ranger's experience and knowledge of the forest could be the key to finding Lilly. As they raced back to the campsite, Carol was a whirl of emotions. Fear, guilt, and a desperate hope swirled within her. The ranger, however, remained focused. His eyes scanned the ground, picking up on details that most would miss. He found the footprints, the same ones that Robert and Fred had followed. With a heavy heart, the ranger pointed to the tracks. "They lead further into the woods." The words echoed in the silence, a chilling reminder of the daunting task ahead. The search was only beginning. The unknown lay ahead, shrouded in the dark canopy of the forest, but there was no turning back now, not when a child's life was at stake. A child's laughter pierced the silence, pulling the fathers towards a clearing. It was like a melodious beacon, guiding them through the thick, lush undergrowth. There, playing innocently in the dappled sunlight, was Lilly. The sight of her, safe and sound, brought a surge of relief that washed over Robert and Fred like a warm wave. But this moment of relief was short-lived. A rustling sound emerged from the bushes, growing louder by the second. The fathers watched, their hearts pounding, as a towering figure lumbered into the clearing. The creature was a sight that defied belief. A massive, hairy woman, her eyes glinting with an almost human intelligence. In her arms, she cradled an infant, as if it were the most precious thing in the world. The fathers could only stare in shock as the creature turned towards Lilly. She let out a roar, a sound so ear-splitting it seemed to shake the very ground beneath their feet. The screeching sound echoed through the woods, sending a chill down their spines. In one swift, fluid movement, the creature scooped up Lilly. She didn't scream or cry. She simply looked at her father with wide, surprised eyes. Then, with a speed that belied its size, the creature turned and darted back into the dense woods, leaving the fathers standing in the clearing, their hearts pounding in their chests. Robert and Fred sprang into action, their fatherly instincts kicking in. They chased after the creature, calling out Lilly's name, their voices echoing through the woods. But the creature was too fast, too nimble. It disappeared into the undergrowth, leaving no trace of its passage, except the fading echo of its roar and the terrified look in Lilly's eyes. Frozen in place, the fathers could only watch as the creature disappeared with Lilly. Their minds raced, fear and disbelief wrestling for dominance. What had just happened? And more importantly, what were they going to do now? The search and rescue team arrived to a scene of chaos and despair. The air was thick with tension and the scent of fear, a stark contrast to the earlier serenity of the day. The campsite, once a haven of family joy and nature's beauty, was now a stage for a chilling mystery. The team, professionals hardened by many such heart-wrenching cases, were taken aback by the palpable sense of dread. The silent woods seemed to hold their breath as if hiding a terrible secret. The first task was to locate the fathers and the ranger, who had ventured off into the dense wilderness. They found Robert and Fred huddled together, their faces etched with terror and fatigue. Nearby was the ranger, his usually confident demeanor replaced with a look of grave concern. Their relief at being found was short-lived, the absence of young Lilly casting a shadow over their reunion. The fathers recounted their harrowing encounter, their voices trembling as they shared their tale of the towering beast and the eerie childlike laughter that still echoed in their minds. The search and rescue team listened, their faces unreadable, their minds processing the incredible story. Meanwhile, back at the campsite, Carol was wrapped in a blanket, her eyes vacant, her mind reeling from the horrific possibilities of what could have happened to her precious Lilly. The other mother held her own children close, her face a mirror of the terror that had gripped them all. Despite the gathering darkness and the chilling tale, the search and rescue team pressed on. Their lights pierced the gloom, their calls for Lilly reverberating through the stillness. But the woods remained silent, offering no clues, no comfort. The night wore on, the darkness deepening, the hope fading. The campsite was a tableau of fear and despair. The once joyful family outing turned into a nightmare, The search and rescue team, the fathers, the mothers, the other children, all united in their shared dread and anxiety. As the sun set, the woods echoed with the unanswered calls for Lilly, leaving everyone wondering. And so, our tale of the campfire horrors comes to an end. Until next time, sleep tight. Before we part ways, dear viewers, remember to stay vigilant. The campfire horrors may have been extinguished for now, but the embers of the unknown always remain. As you lay down to sleep tonight, don't forget the lessons from our tale. Safety is but a fleeting moment in a world of unseen. So, if you've enjoyed this journey into the abyss, don't forget to ring that bell and smash that like button. Do it before the thing under your bed decides to pay you a visit. Oh, and keep those night lights on. You never know what might be lurking in the dark. Thank you for embarking on this terrifying adventure with us. Until our paths cross again in another tale of the unknown. Goodbye and sweet dreams, if you can.